Is that the reason why? Can they hear me?
Yeah,
You can hear me?
yeah.
Okay, okay. All praise to the Most High. Slacky. Just got a new laptop, man, trying to figure out how to work it. So, you know what I'm saying, like the title of the list says, first and foremost, before we start, we give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, through his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, to edify the body, man, to give everybody encouraging hope, man, to hold on, you know what I'm saying, while we're still in captivity, man. So let's open up our Bibles and let's go to the book of John. Let's go start it off with the King himself, Yahweh Shai, see what he said. Let's go to John chapter 16 and let's see what the King said, man, because you know what I'm saying, when we come into this walk, man, it's gonna be a lot of tribulation that you're gonna have to endure. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to endure. Can you hear? Okay. So we're gonna endure a lot of tribulation in this thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's go scroll down to verse number 31. Let's see what the King said himself. Right? It says, Yahweh shall answer them, do ye now believe? Behold, the hour cometh, yea, is now come, that ye shall be scattered, every man to his own, and shall leave me alone, and yet I am not alone, because the Father is with me. So that's one thing that we always got to understand, that the Father is always with us. Yahweh Shai understood that when he was going through his tribulation, when he was, you know what I'm saying, about to be crucified, that he was not alone, that the Father was always with him. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it feel like, did God forsake me? Let me get that real quick in Psalms real quick. David even asked that question, did God forsake me, man? If I'm not mistaken, isn't it? Psalms chapter 10, verse 1. Yes, it is. This is on the book of Psalms, chapter 10 and 1. It says, why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? Because sometimes it can feel like the Most High God is not near you. You know, so it can feel like sometimes, man, I'm going through all this hell. Where is the Most High? You know what I'm saying? Even David asked this question, man. I got to read that again. It says, why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thou? Why hidest thou? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? It can feel like sometimes that the Lord forsake me, man. But we got to understand that the Lord said, I'll never leave you nor forsake you, man. So Yahweh Shai understood that what? The Father is always going to be with me, man. It says, these things have I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulation. The King said it. In the world ye shall have tribulation. You're gonna go through a lot of things in this truth, man. You're gonna be hated of all men. You're gonna be talked about. You're gonna be lied on. Because why? If they did these things unto Yahweh Shai, what makes us better? You know what I'm saying? Because why? The servant is not greater than his master. If these things that they did to the King himself, what makes you different from the things that you're going through? You know what I'm saying? Let's keep going. It says, but be of a good cheer. I have overcame the world. Yahweh Shai overcame what? The flesh. He overcame the flesh. You know what I'm saying? So all praise to the Most High, man. He set an example. You know what I'm saying? He set an example. He set an example for us, man. Let me get that at let me see if I can find that precept real quick. Let me see. Is this the precept that I want? Let's see. Let me see. It's in John. It's somewhere in John. It's somewhere in John. I just read it. Let me see. Let me see if I can find that precept real quick. If I can find it. I'm just going to look it up. Let's look that precept up real quick. So we got to understand the servant is not greater than his master. Everything that Yahweh Shai went through, we're going to go through. Let's get that real quick. It's John 13. Let me see. Yeah, let's get this real quick. Yep. Let's get this real quick. It says, remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. It says it right here, the servant is not greater. We're not greater than Yahushua. Yahushua was a perfect man. It says, remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, what does it say? They will also persecute you. That's why you catch hell at your job. That's why your family don't want to be around you. That's why your friends have forsaken you. Why? It says, if they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. A lot of people don't keep the sayings of Yahushua, the words that he spoke. And he didn't speak of himself. He spoke what the Father told him to speak, man. Let's keep going. It says, but all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. They didn't know the Father. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people do these things because why? They don't know the Father. They don't know Yahushua. You know what I'm saying? So these things they're going to do unto us, man. Let's keep going. It says, if I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin, but now they have no cloak for their sin. Right? Let's keep going. He that hateth me, hateth my Father also. They really hate. They don't really hate you. They hate Yahushua. They hate Yahushua because they hate the Father. People really don't really love the Father how the way they claim like they do, man. Because like Yahushua said, if they would take heed to my sayings, they would take heed to yours. So these folks don't really love what? The Most High at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep going. It says, if I had not done among them the works which none other man did, they had not had sin. But now have they both seen and hated both me and my Father. So we got to understand when we're reading this is not the words Yahushua spoke of himself. He spoke the words of the Most High, man. So if he literally said that in me ye might have peace, in the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer, I have overcome the world. So that means literally you can overcome the world as well. Yahushua beat the flesh. We can beat the flesh as well, man. So literally we gotta put in our minds that this is nothing strange that what we're going through when we're going through tribulation. Let me get that real quick in Peter. Let me get that in Peter real quick. Don't think it's strange that you catching hell for the Lord, man. Let me see if I can find that precept real quick. See if I can find it real quick. I think it's actually in Timothy 3:12. Is it 1 Timothy 3:12? Let me see. Is it 1 Timothy? I think it might be. Let me see. Is it 1 Timothy? Is it 3:12? I think it might be 3:12. Yep. It's 3:12. 1 Timothy 3:12. Let's go to that real quick. Let's go to 1 Timothy 3:12. Let's go to what Apostle Paul wrote, man. Let's see what Apostle Paul wrote, man. Let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 3. Let's go down to verse number 12. It says, what's the first? Oh, 2 Timothy. It's actually 2 Timothy, not the first one. 2 Timothy 3:12. All right, let's go down to it. 2 Timothy 3, verse number 12. It says, yea, and all that will live godly in Hamashiach Yahushai shall suffer persecution. So if you're trying to strive for the commandments, you're trying to live godly in this present evil world, the Bible says that all, it didn't say some, all that will live godly in Hamashiach Yahushai shall, it didn't say will, shall suffer persecution. I meant to say, I meant to say, it didn't say you might, it didn't say could possibly, it says shall suffer persecution. Like we say, you can suffer persecution in many different types of ways. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying, that is a plan and a purpose for going through all these things, man. Let me get that real quick in Second Ezra real quick. There's a plan and a purpose, man, for all these things, man. Let's get that real quick in Second Ezra. Let's get that in Second Ezra real quick. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's the 7th chapter. Let's see. Is that the 7th chapter? I had to literally read this to myself last night, man, to realize that, man, this walk ain't supposed to be easy, man. Let me get that real quick. Second Ezra. Let me see. And it says, in fact, let me get it in a better word so whoever's looking along don't get confused. Let's get this real quick. Let's open up another tab. Let's get this Second Ezra. All right, let's scroll down to Second Ezra now, chapter 7, and let's start at verse number 1. It says, and when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me the night before, and he said unto me, Ezra, and here he says, and hear the words that I have come to tell thee. And I said, speak on, my God. Then said he unto me, the sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put the entrance where narrow and like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? He went not through the narrow. How could he come into the broad? That's what Yahushua literally said. Narrow is the way. This is a narrow walk, man. It's so small, but one man can go in at once, man. It says the entrance thereof is a narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water, and only one path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. This is how this walk is, man. It's an individual thing, man. We're Israelites, but this is an individual walk. This is your walk to the kingdom, man. You got to go through tribulation to get to this kingdom, man. And it's going to say that thing, man. Let's keep going. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? You're supposed to be going through something in this walk. You're supposed to be catching hell. You're supposed to be going through something in this walk, man. You're supposed to be going through something. You know what I'm saying? This walk is not supposed to be lollipops and M&Ms and Skittles and cupcakes. What does it say? If he never shall pass the danger, it didn't say peace. It didn't say prosperity. It said the danger set before it. How shall he receive this inheritance? You got to go through these things to get that inheritance, man. Because why? Only the strong is going to survive, man. Only the strong is going to survive, man. It says, and I said, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even so also is Israel's portion, because for their sake I made the world. You know, for people that may not know that the Lord created the world for Israel's sake. The world that we look at today was made for the Israelites. You know, it was made for the Israelites. Let's keep going. It says, because for their sakes I made the world, and when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done. Then were the entrances of this world made narrow. There go that narrow word again. Full of sorrow. That's why you go through things today. Because why? Full of sorrow and travail. They are but few and evil, full of perils and very painful. This life, that's what this life, man. It's full of sorrow, travail, evil, perils, and very painful, man. We go through these things. Why? Because it's producing what? Endurance, man. We're producing fruit at the end of the day, man. Lord willing, man. It says, for the entrances of the elder world were wide and sure, and brought immortal fruit. It says, if then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those things that are laid up for them. Right? So we got to understand that we're going through all these things because there's something that's laid up for us in the heavens, man. We got to think about this. We need to stop stressing and worrying about all these things that we're going through now. You know what I'm saying? Because why? Because if we put our mind to these carnal things, man, we're going to miss out on the things that's laid up for us, man. I would love to see every Israelite make it to the kingdom of heaven. No more pain, no more sorrow, no more stress, and no more worrying, man. Let me get this in Acts real quick. Let me see if I can get this in Acts. It's Acts 14. Acts 14. Let's get that real quick. Acts 14, verse number 22. Let's see what the disciples said. It says, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them. That's what we need to be doing every day. Exhorting them to continue in the faith. That's what we must be doing every day. Encouraging brothers and sisters to what? Keep enduring. And that we must through much tribulation. There go that word again. And that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of God. We're going to go through a lot of things in this life to enter into the kingdom of God. We're going to go through a lot of sleepless nights, heartbreaks, catching hell at your job for the word's sake. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of things that we go through, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's for a plan and a purpose, man. It's for a plan and a purpose. The danger that is set, we got to go through that to get to the kingdom of heaven, man. Right? You know what I'm saying? Let me get this real quick. In Matthew. Let's get that in Matthew. I think it's the 7th chapter, if I'm not mistaken. Matthew 7, if I'm not mistaken. Verse 13, verse 13. So let's get Matthew now. Let's go to Matthew chapter 7, verse 13. Let's go back to the king himself again and see what he said. Let's go back to the king's words and see what he said. Let's see, Matthew. Let's go to 7. Let's go to verse number 13. It's Matthew 7:13. And Yahushua said unto the centurion, matter of fact, that's not it. Did I click the wrong? Oh, I went to chapter 8. Salakia. Chapter 7. Verse number 13. It says, enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Because straight is the gate and narrow is the way. There go that word narrow again. Narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it, man. Why is that, man? Because not everybody's going to endure. Not everybody's going to want to go through tribulation, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me go back to the prophet Ezra, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's go back to the prophet Ezra. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's 2nd Ezra chapter either 8 or 7 again. I think it's 8 if I'm not mistaken. I think it's 8. Yep, 2nd Ezra 8. Let me see, 2nd Ezra chapter 8. Let's see, King James version. It's 2nd Ezra 8, verse number 1. And it says, he answered me saying, the Most High have made this world for many, but the world to come for few. So the Lord made this world for many. That's why we see different nationalities walking around today, because the Lord made this world for many, but the world to come for few, you know, because what? Not everybody's going to want to go through tribulation. So if you're still enduring in this thing, man, all praises be to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? The Lord sees something in you, man, because it's every day that somebody's not going to want to endure. You know what I'm saying? So while you're enduring, you need to what? Exalt brothers and sisters. Tell them to keep holding on. You know what I'm saying? Also, what? Holding on yourself, man. Because it's so easy to fall out of this truth, man. It's so easy just to give up. It's very harder to say that I want to keep fighting, you know? But that's what it's going to pay off for, man. Let's keep going. It says, I will tell thee a similitude, Esdras, as when thou ask the earth, it shall say unto thee, that it giveth much mold, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, Salakia, whereof earthen vessels are made, but little dust that gold cometh of, even so is the course of this present world, man. It says there be many created, but few shall be saved, man. It's gonna go into a large multitude of Israelites, man. A large multitude of Israelites. That 1/3 is gonna be saved, man. You know, it's so sad that 2/3 of our people ain't gonna make it. You know, and Lord's will that none of us are 2/3. You know, that none of us perish with our iniquity, man. You know what I'm saying? Lord, one that we endure to the end. Right? Let's keep going. It says, so I answered and said, swallow then down, O my soul, understanding and devour wisdom, man. So, right? So the world to come is only made for a few. You know what I'm saying? Those people are going to go through the tribulation and overcome it, man. We're not going to be scared in tribulation. We're not going to get fearful, faint-hearted, man. We're going to stand strong for the Most High, man. We're going to go strong for Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? Let me get this last verse, and then we'll close out. All glory to the Most High, man. Let me see. It's in Psalms. To get that in Psalms real quick. Let's see. I think it's Psalms 37. It's in Psalms 37. Let me see. It's in Psalms 37. No, I don't think it's Psalms 37. It's somewhere in Psalms. Is it 34? Let me see. I can't find it. Let's go back to Matthew now. Let's go to the 24th chapter, and then we'll just end off with the king, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot to go into this, man. Let's go into Matthew 24. Let's go to verse number 13. It says, matter of fact, let's start at verse number 12. It says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, man. What does it mean, iniquity abound? Let's go to 2nd Ezra now, chapter 15. Let's go to 2nd Ezra 15. What does it mean, iniquity abound? Let's go to this real quick. 2nd Ezra 15. What does that mean? Let's see. 2nd Ezra 15. Let's go to verse number 6. It says, for the wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Iniquity, what is what? Sin, which is what? Wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, man. So when Yahweh Shai literally prophesied, he said what? And because iniquity, sin, wickedness shall abound, what? Increase, because we know as we grow more and more and more in these last days, that wickedness is going to keep going to the next level, and the next level. And it says the love of many shall wax cold. Lord willing, that's not none of us, because we can see when we come into the faith that family members, they act cold towards you. You know, friends act cold towards you. Even at your job, you know what I'm saying? They act cold towards you, man. And we see even on the news that the love of people, the love of men is waxing cold. How? Because we see people killing people. We seeing all these different things going on, man. You know what I'm saying? It says this is the most important part. But he or she that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. That's why we go through this tribulation. That's why we go through all these things. Why? Because what? But he or she that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. That's the reason why we need to hold on. Because why? The promises, the kingdom. Let me get that in 1 Corinthians. No eye can imagine. Let me get that real quick. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse number 9. It says, but as it is written, I have not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man, the mind of a man, what? The things which Yahweh have prepared for them that love him. There's no telling, like we always, you know what I'm saying, talk about the kingdom of heaven, but what? There's no actual, you know what I'm saying, words that can describe how the kingdom of heaven is going to be, especially to what? The Israelites that what? That endure, that love the Most High, man. There's no telling, man, how it's going to be. So that's why what? But he or she that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved, man. That's the whole plan and purpose, man, being delivered, man, for the destruction, man. You know? And that's something to think about, man. You're not going through all this for no reason, man. You're not going through all this for no reason, man. You're going through this, Lord willing, to please the Most High, man. Because what? We're walking like what? Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? He went through a lot of things in his life. You know what I'm saying? So how much of us being servants to Yahweh Shai? We're gonna go through a lot of things in this life, man. It's gonna be hard, man. But you know what I'm saying? You can get through it and you can endure. And with that, I digress. I give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, through his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Signing off. Shalom.